Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the New London Air National Guard Station, home of North Carolina Air National Guard's 263rd Combat Communications Squadron, 235th Air Traffic Control Squadron, the 118th Air Support Operations Squadron, the 156th Weather Flight, and the 145th Civil Engineers Regional Training Site. The United States Air Force and the men and women of the North Carolina National Guard extend a warm welcome to the family and friends who have joined us today as we pay special tribute to Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Air Force and the North Carolina Air National Guard. A Navy brass bell will be used during today's ceremony in memory of Chief Master Sergeant Honeycutt's recently deceased father for his service to our country in the United States Navy. One bell is the beginning of the shift or career for the purposes of this ceremony. The retirement ceremony is a time-honored military tradition. It is a time to pause and acknowledge a career of dedicated service to our great country. Today marks the closure of a military career spanning 38 years. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Colonel Anthony D. Sullivan. I am Chief Master Sergeant Richard Reed, and I will be your narrator for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the family and friends for the plane Ruffles and Feathers. Today singing the national anthem this afternoon will be R.J. Adams, a longtime friend of Chief Honeycutt and his family, and in the posting of the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glares, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how hard you plan, no matter how hard you work, things will not always go the way you want to. As with today, at ease everybody, please. So what we're going to do is we're going to back up here a little bit. We're going to get our flags. Today we've got the Tar Heel Challenge, North Carolina National Guard Tar Heel Challenge cadets. that have worked very hard to do the flags. Also, they're going to be doing the flag ceremony for us today. And even though we had some minor difficulties, this just goes to show you how we are in the North Carolina Air National Guard. We can stop, adjust, and get back on track again. And that's what we're going to do. These young people have worked hard, and so it just happens. Stuff happens, right? So I appreciate your patience. And now we're going to continue on with the ceremony that was supposed to happen before we sang the national anthem. And by the way, how did Mr. Adams do? Pretty good? Thank you, RJ. I appreciate you. We've known RJ. He's been a friend of our family for many, many years, and we're just honored that he agreed to come here and do this for us today. So, folks, without further ado, stand fast, and we'll be right with you. Thank you.
Honor Guard, post the colors.
Order, arms.
Forward, march.
Part-time, march. Color guard, halt. Forward, march. Part-time, march. Color guard, halt. Halt. Seat. Present arms. Order arms. Martin march. Center face. Forward march. Martin march. Color guard, halt.
Right face. Martin march. Forward march.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as Chaplain Jeffrey Kidd will now offer the invocation. It will be Chaplain's key.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for your many blessings and attentive care. You have laid a path before us and prepared our way that we will walk in it. You have enabled us to bring honor to ourselves and this nation that we serve, and given us the grace of family, friendship, and leadership. Today we participate in this retirement ceremony, knowing that our mission must carry on. The moments we will have together will be precious few, and time waits for no one. But we also know that it's people that make the difference. Chief Honeycutt has made a difference here and in the lives of so many others. Lord, thank you for his life and his service. Be with him now in retirement as you always have been. Continue to lead and guide him in making a difference in the lives of others, personally and professionally, on the job and off. We ask that for Chief and Rosie at this time that they make one more transition into retirement. May they find a renewed sense of commitment and purpose in this next stage of life. Bless them, O Lord, we pray in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are fortunate to have a number of distinguished special guests with us today. We extend a special welcome to Chief Honeycutt's spouse, Rosanna, but to her family and friends, they all call her Rosie. Their daughter, Heather Lynn, son, Christopher, and a large number of beloved family members. We are also honored to have a number of special guests with us today. Major General Retired and Mrs. Robert Stonestreet, Brigadier General Retired and Mrs. Fisk Outwater, Brigadier General Retired and Mrs. Iwa Clontz, Brigadier General Thomas J. Kennett, North Carolina Air National Guard, Assistant Adjutant General for Air, Chief Master Sergeant David Rodriguez, Command Chief, Master Sergeant, North Carolina Air National Guard, Stephen Colonel Millette, Director, Airspace Operations, Colonel Bryony Terrell, Commander, 145th Airlift Wing, Command Chief Master Sergeant Susan Dietz, Command Chief Master Sergeant, 145th Airlift Wing, Brigadier General Clarence Urban, Chief of Staff, Colonel Alan Cecil, Vice Wing Commander, 145th Airlift Wing. All other commanders, chiefs, and first sergeants, welcome. Chief Master Sergeant Honeycutt and Mrs. Honeycutt would like to thank all general officers, commanders, past commanders, chiefs, retirees, friends, co-workers, and family members for sharing this special occasion. Your presence is appreciated, and they are honored to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce the former 263rd Combat Communications Squadron Commander and now assigned as the North Carolina National Guard Director, Staff, Joint Force Headquarters, Raleigh, North Carolina, Colonel Anthony D. Sullins.
Okay. You cool with you? You cool. Okay. All right. For ceremony of the day. This is my favorite one. Welcome. All of our distinguished guests and our narrators already welcome. Thank you for being here today. Chief, there's a lot of bunch of general officers and chiefs. I don't think we've had this many chiefs and general officers in this room since Stonestreet retired. So you must have done one or two
I use his mailing list.
things. Before you go today, we got notification this morning that you got one more thing you got to do before you leave. This is a memorandum for Chief Master Sergeant Honeycutt, Ronnie D., 263rd Combat Squadron for the 145th Airlift Wing. Notification of selection to provide a urine specimen. Here's the letter. You got one more test. You want me to sign? Once again, thank you to all the guests today who are here. Welcome to Stanley County. Thank you for sharing this day with Chief Honeycutt and his family and with the 263rd. To all retirees, Joan Stone Street, Colonel McManus, all the chiefs out there, thank you for coming back today. It's been so great to see so many of you today to come back for this event. First of all, Chief, let me say, there's nothing we're going to say here today. There's nothing on this table we're going to give you that's going to speak to what you have done for the 263rd and what your family has given for the 263rd and the North Carolina National Guard in this country for the last 38 years. But we're going to do our best. This is, for those who have been here, I just got promoted to this rank about 5 minutes ago. And Chief, let me say this. When you asked me to do this, one of the greatest honors of my career. Thank you for allowing me to spend this day with you and your family and do this for you. I really was honored that you asked me to. Thank you, General Adwalk, for joining us here. So about Chief, his Air Force journey started a very, very long time ago, in 1979. With 3 years on active duty, where he met the love of his life, Rosie, while on active duty at Hickam Air Force Base. He left active duty in 1982. He settled back here in North Carolina with Rosie and married 35 years right now, still going strong. His marriage then gave him 2 wonderful children, Heather and Christopher, who he adores, and 2 wonderful grandbabies. We are here to celebrate Chief's service as a guardsman, but he's not only given to this community and his country and his fellow North Carolina citizens as a guardsman, but he just in about 2011 did a 30-year career in law enforcement with the Union County Sheriff's Department. I think his boss is here today. Thank you for being here with us. In fact, in 2005, he was the American Legion Law Enforcement Officer of the Year for the state of North Carolina. So thank you for serving in many different ways. He came back to serve his country in 1985 when he joined this unit again, the 263rd. Now, I'd like to be able to tell you that he joined the country for he joined the unit again for love of country. The way he told me is that, he had Heather in 1984 or 4, and it didn't take him long to figure out that he was going to be very terribly difficult to raise a family on a young law enforcement officer salary. So instead of going to high school football games once a month, he just come out here and do drill. So that was he told me that several years ago. In 2001, I joined the unit as a young and user captain from active duty, and Chief Honeycutt was my very first NCOIC. We started working from the day I got here, September the 8th, 2011. And we were in charge of the TIC-39 Alpha Band. It was this big monstrosity. It was probably half the size, probably about as long as this stage. Took 2 generators to run, about 7 airmen to operate, a 5-ton truck to pull, and about a whole C-141 to get it off the ground. So that tells you how long we've been in this business, because you can do all that with a cell phone now or a couple of blocks. But we loved that band. It was a good band. In a few minutes, we're going to give the Chief the Meritorious Service Medal and North Carolina Distinguished Service Medal. And you're going to hear a long list of his outstanding accomplishments, how many hurricanes he's responded to for his country, for his state, how many deployments he's been on. And he's been a lot. He's been doing this a long time. So I'm not going to go over all that. I'm just going to tell you a few things about Chief that I know after serving with him for the last 17 years. First and foremost, Chief loves his family. He really loves his family. Rosie, there is no one in the world he'd rather spend his time with than you. Most of my conversations with him go something like this. Me and Rosie are going, we're just going to go and do this. Me and Rosie, I'm going to have a good weekend, or I just had a good weekend. And when he tells me those stories, it's not fabulous vacations where you spend a lot of money and that kind of stuff. It's me and Rosie going for a drive in the country. And it doesn't matter what he's doing, as long as you're there, he's okay. And thank you for being such a wonderful life partner for him and allowing him to do the things that he's done for us. Heather and Christopher, he's crazy about you. Heather, there are 3 or 4 times I was about to come and find you and say, will you please move back to North Carolina so this grown man can stop crying about it? I need to see my grandbabies. Sir, I'm going, I got to go see my grandbabies. He loves those grandbabies. Christopher, I know you recently moved away. Here's how I know. Chief came in one day, he's moping around the office. I mean, moping. I can tell when there's something wrong with him. Moping. And I said, Chief, what's going on? Well, my last one's leaving. And that was a rough day for him. And he said, well, now I really got to retire because I'm going to spend a third of my time in Missouri, a third of my time in Texas, and a third of the time on this mythical lake house you keep talking about. So man loves his family. Although I will miss his unique parenting advice. I have a daughter who's about a few months away from being a teenager, and she, he's done all this before, so he's telling me all about it. And after hearing his advice over the years, all I can say, Heather, is I'm sorry. Here's an example. The other day I said, hey, Chief, I figured out this thing, my daughter hooked her phone, her Bluetooth up to my car. So when I pull her up at the house, for about 10 seconds, I can hear what she's saying. And I feel a little bad about it. What do you think I should do? He said, don't you say a thing, sir. Don't you tell your wife because she might get weak and give it up. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all that, special parenting advice. I'll figure it out later. Chief has a deep affection for the North Carolina National Guardsmen and uses those talents to fiercely advocate for them. That's the second thing about him. As an example, in 2005, he became the unit's North Carolina National Guard Association rep, right? Our numbers went through the roof. Chief was selling that $10,000 worth of insurance at the North Carolina National Guard. He kept selling it and selling it and selling it. So at one point I said, Chief, if you tell me one more time about that $10,000, Rosie's going to be getting it soon. Good, I got you. You signed me up for it. But that gift that he has, that talent, was quickly recognized because he got on the North Carolina National Guard Legislative Affairs Committee. And Chief Honeycutt, now there's very few people who can say they touch the lives of everyone in the North Carolina National Guard. But as part of the North Carolina Legislative Affairs Committee, Chief Honeycutt was responsible for advocating and getting the first pay raise for North Carolina Guardsmen's pension fund since 1973.
I wasn't the only one. There was a group of us.
A group of you, General Atwater.
There was Stone Street.
So you were part of that. So very few people can say that they had that kind of impact. He went on to be voted the vice president of the North Carolina National Guard Association for 2 terms, and then the president of the North Carolina National Guard Association for 2 terms. So he's been operating at that level, having a state level impact for a long, long time. Chief, he was a fierce advocate for the enlisted airmen. Fierce. He demanded from enlisted airmen everything they had. He was the guy going around beating people in the head about in-residence PMB and CCAF and all those advanced education degree and career opportunities, advanced and career broadening opportunities. Before those things became a big part of how we selected approach. So in the last few years, we've kind of formalized those things. But before all that came along, Chief was out there saying, hey, this is going to make you a better leader. Go do it. He was the guy that was pushing this on the squad, and that impacted a lot of people's careers. a really good example of how fiercely he protected the enlisted members of the North Carolina National Guard is, for those that have been here for a while, you know, I've grown as a leader, but there was a time that I could be called a little bit of a micromanager. Those who've been here for a while, the chiefs are like, oh yeah, you are. So for many years, the officers in this squadron were deeply, deeply involved in enlisted promotions, down to the lowest level. And Chief came in the office one day and said to me and Colonel Dickens, the commander at the time, I'm not taking no for an answer. You're going to give enlisted promotions back to your senior NCO Corps and let the people who are responsible for you getting the job done have that authority and responsibility. And he wasn't taking a no for an answer that day. So he came in on orders for the next 2 weeks and he wrote a promotion OI for the squadron. He then took that OI and I think it became the basis for the wings promotion OI. And he basically said, sir, I'm going to get your intent, ma'am, I'm going to get your intent, and you get out the way, you let senior NCOs be senior NCOs. And he did that, and he took that back, and he gave it back to the senior NCOs in our squadron. And one of the things about being a guardsman is if you're in a unit a long time, you get to see the impact of things that happen. And that, probably in the 17 years that I've been here, was probably probably the top 3 of things that I saw that had an impact on this squadron. Because it empowered our senior NCOs to a level that we really hadn't done before. And that was a big deal. I may not be giving it all the credit it deserves, but those who are standing in the audience today who are part of 263rd know how important that was. One last story. This will tell you everything you need to know about Chief Honeycutt. So in 2011, we went downrange, went to Al Jaber Air Base to open it up. And Al Jaber, there's no other way to explain it except it was a hellhole when we got there. It was like when the U.S. left that base the last time, they did everything they could to make it as worse as possible for the next week we came there. There was sand in there, 8 inches high in every dorm. But they were using that base to have some F-16s and some EA-18s from the Navy come down and give top cover to the troops as they were posturing out of Iraq. This was in the middle of 2011. And the State Department was going back and forth with Iraq and, okay, you're going, you're not going, you're not going, you're going, now go. So we went over there. And for the first 3 or 4 days, we slept some bad places, we did some great, it was really rough. And so we were about 3 weeks in. And we had these meetings, and the wing commander would be there, and these were quick hit meetings with all the officers and most of the chiefs and all the chiefs in the wing. And the conditions were still pretty bad. And the wing commander goes around the room at the end, and everybody got something. And at the end, he'd say, "Okay, this is command chief. How are the airmen doing?" And they're like, "They're doing good, chief. They're hanging in there. I mean, they're going good, sir. They're hanging in there." So one day they said that, and I heard behind me, no. I said, damn, that sounds like my job. So you got to see this picture. There's probably 8 or 9 full colonels in the room, every chief master sergeant, every squadron commander. Chief Honeycutt said, "No, sir, I keep sitting in this room every day and hearing people say that it's getting better out there for our airmen, and it's not, and I'm tired of hearing people say that." You could have heard a pin drop in that room. We don't do that in the Air Force very often. We don't pee on the floor in front of the wing commander. You don't do that. Bad mojo. We don't tell other commanders they're not doing what you're supposed to do. But what Chief did there was exactly what a chief was supposed to do. He said, no, sir. You need to go over to the dorm and see how your airmen are living for yourself. And so the chief looks around, the wing commander looks around, takes his mission support group commander and his CE commander, and they're real puckered up right now. And he said, "Let's go walk over to the dorms." Everything changed that day. What the chief did that day was he put, we were getting that base ready for F-16s. We were focusing on the mission first. He put us on notice that day that it's mission first, but people always And we had forgotten our number one responsibility, and that's to take care of the people who take care of you. And Chief didn't let you forget that, ever. He's had a significant impact on this unit for many, many years. I've had about 4 or 5 things in my career that I remember that moment when that happened, and that was one of those things. And that says a lot about who you are, because you weren't afraid to tell the boss, the emperor he has on clothes, that he wasn't taking care of his airmen. There's people weren't taking care of his airmen. So the North Carolina National Guard is going to miss leadership. You're definitely going to miss leadership like that. You have been a fierce advocate for the men and women of the 263rd and North Carolina Air National Guard. It has been my privilege and my honor to serve with you. I have grown as a person just by the things that you've told me about myself that I needed to get in order to be a better leader for these airmen. But because of your diligent stewardship during your time here, you are leaving behind a legacy of highly competent, motivated, and battle-tested senior NCOs who will continue to uphold the highest traditions of this proud unit and the North Carolina Air National Guard. On behalf of the North Carolina National Guard, the United States Air Force, and the grateful nation, all those who you have touched, you and your family, I thank you and Rosie and Heather and Christopher for a job incredibly well done for 38 years. You are my friend. I'm going to really miss you, Chief. For the last 2 months since I left, Chief sends me an email every couple of weeks and said, I miss my commander, and I send him a text message back saying, I miss my chief.
That's not what he said.
Thank you. I appreciate what you've done for the men and women of the North Carolina National Guard, what you've done for me personally, what you've done for this unit. The number of people here today is a testament to who you are, who you've been, in and out of that uniform. And as I said, there's nothing we can say to honor the amount of work that you've done for the North Carolina Air National Guard, but we're going to do our best. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal and the North Carolina Distinguished Service Medal by Colonel Sullivan. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of Air Force Meritorious Service Medal and North Carolina Distinguished Service Medal. Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt served a distinguished career spanning more than 38 years of service to the United States Air Force and the North Carolina National Guard, culminating as Chief Enlisted Manager of the 263rd Combat Communications Squadron. Chief Honeycutt courageously served in 8 different countries in support of numerous exercises and named operations to include Bright Star, Team Spirit, Focus Lens, Roving Sands, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Southern Watch, Northern Lightning, Enduring Freedom, New Dawn, Inherent Resolve, and Sentinel's Freedom. In addition to defending our nation abroad, he supported his fellow North Carolina citizens during times of disaster, supporting the state's recovery from the devastation caused by Hurricanes Fran, Floyd, Francis, Ivan, and Isabel. During Operation Desert Shield, his team activated a tactical buoy switch that supported the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force and served as a central node for 98 tactical switches throughout Southwest Asia. Shortly after September 11th, he deployed to Qatar, where his team established a joint Tier 1 management node to significantly robust theater communications to support combat operations for Enduring Freedom and later Iraqi Freedom. In 2011, in support of Operation New Dawn, Chief Honeycutt deployed short notice to Kuwait with 50 members. There he assumed the role of Senior Enlisted Manager for the 332nd Expeditionary Communications Squadron, leading 80 airmen from active duty, the reserves, and the National Guard. There they performed the largest and quickest employment of tactical communications since the beginning of combat operation after September 11th, enabling all communications for the reactivation of Al Jaber Air Base, supporting F-16 and EA-18 combat sorties, providing top cover to coalition forces posturing out of Iraq. Finally, in 2015, as Chief Enlisted Manager of the 380th Expeditionary Communications Squadron, Chief Honeycutt led 132 airmen, supporting 4,000 coalition users of Air Force Central Command's second largest communications node, providing command and control for more than 39,000 combat sorties during operations Inherent Resolve and Freedom Sentinel. In addition to his operational leadership, Chief Honeycutt excelled as the Staff Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, in 2015 as the J6 Liaison for the National Guard Coordination Center. He coordinated national assets in support of Homeland Defense across the 54 and provided situational awareness to senior National Guard leadership, which included the Chief of the National Guard Bureau, General Frank Grass. Most of all, Chief Honeycutt was a champion of the enlisted airmen, fervently advocating the professional development of all airmen to build stronger enlisted leaders via personal mentorship, promotion of professional military education, and challenging developmental and leadership opportunities. Chief Honeycutt's leadership and commitment to his duty has left an indelible and lasting positive impact on the 145th Airlift Wing, North Carolina Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force to come for generations to come.
There can only be one old guy in this picture. Now you're North Carolina Distinguished Service.
Thank you, Colonel Summons. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing while the Brigadier General Fisk Outwater retires Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt.
Published order.
Attention to orders. Reserve Order EL 3408, effective on 6 August 2018. You are authorized retired pay per Title 10, United States Code, Section 12731, with 38 years, 8 months, and 21 days. You will be placed on the United States Air Force retired list. Chief Honeycutt, the 8 bells means the end of your duty. Your military service in the United States Air Force and North Carolina National Guard has now ended, and you are officially retired. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Brigadier General Fisk Outwater will now present Chief Honeycutt the certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America, which honors Chief Honeycutt for over 30 years of service. Just another little bump. We're good. I just want to read what it actually says as well. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Air Force on the 6th day of August of the year 2018. Signed, General David L. Goldfein, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Lieutenant General L. Scott Rice, Director, Air National Guard.
Next one. Another one. We got another one. Go ahead and read it.
I'm going to read the next one. You guys, I know this is killing me. The next one reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution and honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces for the purposes for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for your happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. Thank you, General Outwater. Chief Honeycutt, you may be seated, please. Chief Honeycutt also received personal letters of appreciation from former President George W. Bush, the President during his deployment for Operation Enduring Freedom 2001 to 2002. And it reads, Dear Ronnie, congratulations on your retirement from the United States Armed Forces. I am proud to have served as your Commander-in-Chief, and I am pleased to join your family, friends, and colleagues in recognizing your career and accomplishments. Throughout history, the dedicated men and women of our military have protected our citizens and preserved the ideals that make our country strong. Their courage and sacrifice have inspired countless people and have helped shape America's character. On behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your contributions to our security and to the cause of peace and freedom. Your service, patriotism, and selfless devotion have helped advance the universal hope of liberty at home and around the world. Laura and I send our best wishes for health and happiness in the years ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush. Colonel Sullins will now present Chief Honeycutt with a certificate of appreciation from the National Guard Bureau. It reads, National Guard Bureau Certificate of Service awarded to Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt in recognition of 38 years of service in the Armed Forces of the United States, including 33 years of service in the National Guard. Signed, Joseph L. Lingell, General, U.S. Air Force, Chief, National Guard Bureau. Thank you, Colonel. Chief, you may be seated, please. Chief Honeycutt also received a letter from the Command Chief Master Sergeant of the Air National Guard, Chief Ronald C. Anderson, and Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Khalif O. Wright. And they both read, Chief Anderson wrote, Brother, thank you for your leadership and mentorship. It truly has been an honor to serve alongside of you. Chief Wright wrote, please pass along our deepest appreciation to Roseanne for her many sacrifices over the years. Together, you have made our Air Force a better place. Now, Mrs. Rosie Honeycutt, would you please come forward for the spouse's certificate of appreciation? Chief Honeycutt, Colonel Sullins will now present Mrs. Honeycutt with a certificate of appreciation from the United States Air Force. And it reads, in grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Rosanna Honeycutt for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, General David L. Goldfein, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Lieutenant General L. Scott Rice, Director, Air National Guard.
I also have a pen.
Tells us how to do it. Chief Honeycutt will now present Mrs. Honeycutt with the Silent Partners of the Guard lapel pin, and the citation reads, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know you that in recognition of generous and dedicated response to the trials of the Minuteman's call for all sacrifices, great and small, the North Carolina National Guard will forever be grateful. As a symbol of appreciation for your outstanding display of support in helping your family member to attain success, as is evidenced by the honors bestowed this date, Mrs. Rosanna Honeycutt is hereby issued official thanks and is further accorded personal recognition with good faith membership in the Order of the Silent Partners. Signed, Major General Gregory Lawson, the Adjutant. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Outwater will now make a presentation to Chief Honeycutt of the North Carolina Order of the Longleaf Pine. It reads, reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt, I do by these presents confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine with the rank of Ambassador Extraordinary, privileged to enjoy fully all rights granted to members of this exalted order, among which is the special privilege to propose the following North Carolina toast in select company anywhere in the free world. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the wheat grows strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. By the Governor, Roy Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to have the Tar Heel Challenge Cadet Honor Guard with us this afternoon to perform our flag ceremony under the direction of Mr. Desmond Fletcher. The United States flag being presented in the ceremony is Arthur Honeycutt's memorial flag. Chief Honeycutt chose this flag in honor and recognition of his grandfather's service and sacrifice during World War II. In addition, the Navy brass bell will be included to honor his father's military service. Reading the poem, Old Glory, during the flag ceremony will be Major Jason M. Cowan, Deputy Flight Commander, 263rd Combat Communications Squadron.
Color guard. Post.
Color guard. Attention. Front. March on. March. Left. Left. Forward. March. Mark time, march. Color guard, halt. About face.
I am the flag of the United States of America, and my name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the cane fields of the Philippines, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, and a score of other places. Long forgotten by all, but those who were there with me. I was there. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th, as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives selflessly to save others, showing all of America that although bloody, I would never be beaten. Those who would destroy me cannot win. For I am the symbol of freedom of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those whom with I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surely bounds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the new frontiers of space. I have been the silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor those who have given their all, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son and daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God, long may I wave. Color go. Right. Big. Stand. Forward. Mrs. Honeycutt, on behalf of a grateful nation, we present you this flag for Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie Honeycutt's distinguished service, and more importantly, your unwavering support and sacrifice. Color guard. Order. On. Right. Big. Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you Chief Master Sergeant Ronnie D. Honeycutt, United States Air Force, retired.
Thank you. Roses for my road. I can never, ever give you the credit that you deserve for being here, being with me. My big old buck. I was going to get a boutonniere, but you know, he said, "Oh no, I don't want that." Okay, well, I'm going to get you then. I don't know what to get you. I give him a kiss. Wasn't that long ago, you know, I was holding my arms, a little tiny baby. So time flies, just like it has today. But first, I wanted to start out, and I promise you, I know a lot of people in here going, "Oh Lord, have mercy." They done messed up now. This thing's already gone on long enough. My God, they didn't get up and talk. You know, I promise you, this will be short and sweet because the main people I need to talk to are sitting right here in front of me. You know, I remember. Well, first of all, let me tell you who I need to talk about first, and that's Rosie. She's my beacon. She's our beacon of light. And what I mean that is that no matter how far away we go, we always seem to find our way back. I remember during Desert Shield Desert Storm when I deployed, old Buck over here, he's like 6 months old. Heather was like 3. And I remember leaving them, and it was so difficult. And I remember he was like, "Oh, Daddy, Daddy," you know, Heather, both of them, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And I came back from a 6-month deployment. He was scared of me. And she was like, "Okay, what's the big deal? I've been on TV the whole time you've been gone." Because literally she was being interviewed all over the place at her school, and she was singing, she was out, she was like a celebrity. So it was like she enjoyed the whole time. But there were sacrifices that were made, and they made them. While I was off having a good time, enjoying myself, my family were the ones that were left behind, dealing with deaths in the family, dealing with the hot water heater blowing up to a pipe, cars breaking down, dealing with terrible 2s, terrible 3s, dealing with the heights. And there's been more than one time I've gone out the door, which I guess you've heard. There's been times, you know, the teenage years, and I was gone, and Rosie had to hold it down. And so it's been a journey. It certainly has. And she's been our beacon of light, because no matter how far we go out, no matter where we're at, we got one living in Missouri and one living in Texas, she's still our beacon of light. And she has held us together. She has fought for us. She's beat us up. She's told us that we're not doing right. She's loved us, and she's the strength of this family. And we love her. And I cannot give her enough credit for all the times that I've had to go out the door and left her behind, and she's had to take care of everything. Everything. And she's done it. And I remember a quote from my daughter one time. Recently, she said, "I'm mad at Mom." And I was like, "Well, why?" She said, "Because she made it look so easy." And that's so true. She did. She made it look so easy. So, baby, I love you so much. I love my babies. You all know that. And thank you for being here today and sharing this, because this is just as much yours as it is mine, because you were the ones that I left. You were the ones that had to deal with all the problems and issues of growing up without me being there. Bad enough being in law enforcement, where I was gone all the time when I wasn't doing the other times. So, and then the last that I have to say is the 263rd has been my home, and I love the 263rd so much. And I love the airmen, and I love the mission. I love the North Carolina Air National Guard, and it has been such a pleasure for me to serve. Trust me, I got more out of it. I got so much out of it. All the people that I've come across and the experiences that I've had and the lessons that I've learned that have made me a better person, I could not have gotten anywhere else but from the North Carolina National Guard. So at this time, it is my pleasure to say thank you so much, and I will go on and make my life. And as I told many of you, I'm here if you ever need me. Just, you've got my phone number, so maybe we'll have lunch and hang out a little bit. But if you ever need anything, I'm here. God bless you all. Be safe, and thank you for being here today.
Extend our congratulations to Chief Honeycutt and his family. Please remain standing for the benediction, the playing of the Air Force song, and the departure of the official party.
Chief, I will miss you more than you know. Usually every time we have a conversation, or I see him, or he sees me, he'll yell down the hallway, "Chaplain, pray for me." So, sir, I got one more official one for you here, but I'll always pray for you. Thank you for your friendship. Join me, will you? Wonderful God, thank you for the opportunity to remember, to laugh, and to celebrate the Chief Honeycutt. We give thanks for his service and a bountiful career. He consistently cared for his airmen under his charge and displayed true sincerity in all of his deeds. These qualities will be sorely missed, for great leaders realize that they need others to be truly successful. Lord, you know all the times Chief Honeycutt asked me to pray for him in the hallways and in offices and different places we found ourselves. So, Lord, I pray that you would honor his desire for your blessings. As a new season dawns for Chief Honeycutt, bless and keep him, make your face to shine upon him, and grant him peace now and forevermore. Amen. Please remain standing for the departure of the official party and Chief Honeycutt's family.